Hello, hey, well that was an adventure. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you, all none of you. All right, let me get our guest. He always looks good on camera. I changed the lights after Tom said David Jolly was too dark. I put more light on the wall to make our black guest pop against the white.
You know, film is inherently racist.
What do you
mean?
Because when it was developed, like invented, the people who invented it never considered filming people of non-white skin.
Just like the Apple Watch.
Really?
Like the Apple Watch.
So
they never thought that black people would use these. No, they did. I'm serious. And so when and then black people started buying them when they first rolled them out, and they're like, "This isn't taking my heart measurement." And they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, they don't account for like,
that's a real thing.
They must have thought that people with darker pigment on their skin.
But they gave it
it's
fine. It's fine.
It's fine. I know. Yeah.
They didn't test it enough, and then so I think they had like a class action lawsuit and everything. About
so you have to like learn how to light black people, especially when using film. Black actors,
I know how to do
black
it
actors
now.
and actresses. There's a
I call them
specific way.
blacktors.
Blacktors.
I know how to do. I know how to light them. I can call them that because I know how to light them now.
There is a very specific way to do it properly without losing them in the
except for Jolly.
Nothing can be done. Too black. He's too black.
Hey, if they figured out Wesley Snipes, they could figure out Jolly.
Wesley, we made it. Okay. Would you like to begin? Not a very good warm up, but we can go into the shame. We can go into the shame.
Okay.
If you would like to.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's happening. Your wife's in here. There's
There's
some new lady in here that's in lingerie at your desk. He's typing away. He's got some lady in there in a negligee.
BDM Appreciation Week. We'll talk to my wife on the BDM show about, because I'm sure it's frustrating.
She's sitting in a pile of garbage right now. in a negligee.
We've come to terms with me never teaching her how to do anything ever in our entire life because it's so frustrating for her.
I saw a little bit of it.
So her having to take me teaching her how to do that is the worst thing that's ever happened.
I love your answers. Mr. Logic, she asked Mr. Logic, she's like, this is the warm-up. This is a real warm-up. Okay. She asked Mr. Logic, she's like, so how would I know how to do X and Y? And he'd go, well, it's a feel.
That's what you want to hear when you're being trained. Just feel it out.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my God, it's the funniest thing. And it's the worst thing. Look, even if that's true, which I believe it is.
Yeah.
Why would you tell her that? Why would you say that to her?
Because it's the truth.
No, but it's not good. But
because there's no way for me to explain why
it's like
this
telling her though you can't do it. No one can do it except for me, right? It's a low key way of saying I'm the only one that can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there other people. Oh God.
Oh boy.
Poor guy. Belly laugh. Crespo was like, what?
Yeah. Because
he gave up.
You're right.
You did. You got to see a real one.
Yeah, real give up.
Oh, Crystal.
Because I want to live my life with
Crespo's
like a
never
computer.
seen a real give up before.
Like I want there to be a reason that I do everything because that's how I tell other people to do it, but I don't do that. I'm like, why do you do this?
Part.
Why do you do this? I feel like that's the best way. There's no
feelings.
It's
You didn't understand how happy I was when he said it's a feeling. I said feelings. Did somebody say feeling? I came over there to give him a hug, and then he pushed me on the ground.
He's like, no empathy.
It's business feelings.
Oh my goodness. The worst feelings.
We should have 2 shirts. We should have the top shirt says business feelings and the Dan shirt says gay feelings. There's 2 types of feelings: business feelings and gay feelings. I specialize in the gayer side of the feelings.
That's awesome.
Like puppies and kisses and huggies and smoochies. Okay, good warm up. Let's do movies and whatnot. Would you like to begin?
Yeah.
And this is 1 and 2 because we have 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
It's BDM Appreciation Week. So all the BDM pre-orders, the $5 BDM shirts, they went out on Saturday,
Yes.
Eric told me. So people should be getting them this week.
Yes.
Probably some today.
Yeah, man.
And
It's a beautiful shirt.
And we
thank you all for participating.
Yeah.
It makes us happy when you use, the things that we set up and participate in BDM Appreciation Week.
and we'll be making some other announcements on the BDM show today. But there is a BDM Appreciation Week party at the end of this week on Saturday, and we're going to send out one last email of all the details today. So if you just signed up to become a BDM, you'll get an email today giving you the details of the party, but it's on the BDM page. You could email us and ask us the details, and as long as you're a BDM, you get to go, you and a guest, for free.
We're running that loose too. TomandDale.com/registration. Sign up to be a BDM. The shows are very behind the scenes, especially recently. I mean, we basically save all of our business and all of the decision making that we want to do. We save it for those shows so we can include you and kind of help you help us steer the boat.
Yeah,
you said something. I'm very glad you started saying emails. Email. You didn't say something that you and I have a habit of saying, and I'm glad. I'm just here to say we'll never say it again.
Okay.
I don't want to say email blast ever again.
Yeah.
I don't like the phrase email blast. It sounds dumb.
It also sounds like a number 4.
It sounds like a number 4. It sounds like a number 4. It's like email blast.
I'm blasting your face.
I'm blasting it. Here. You want the details? Come over here. Oh, yeah. Dropping blast. That's what it sounds like, dropping blast. So I'm glad you didn't say that.
I'll say it again.
I know you will.
Sometime soon.
I know you will.
I love a good
You'll probably
blast.
say it when Aloha Productions is in here.
I like
when we have you'll be like, oh, hi, I'm so glad our Polynesian dancers are here. Did you get the blast?
I do like a good text blast. I'll take it in text.
You'll take a text blast?
Yeah, email seems
I'm
like
anti-all
old school.
I'm anti-all blasts.
Because you never even get the email, like the text blast, you hear and you're like, you get it right away as soon as we send it.
Too many text blasts.
The email, like who has a notification for emails?
It gets scattered into my trash.
Yeah.
Email now to me might as well be any flyer. Any email is like emails to me are now flyers. I'm sorry. I admit that to everybody. We're going to talk movies in a second, but I have to get this off my chest. If you send me an email, your urgency level must be a 0. If you send me an email. Yeah, if you call me, then I know S is going down. If you text me,
no one calls.
You did this morning.
Oh,
because S is going down.
Well, it's a security breach.
We've had a rough Monday. We've had a rough Monday.
I forgot to even talk about that.
I had to break into the studio. We're going to talk about it on the BDM show. I've broken into the studio more times. I always break into the studio.
You're the only one who breaks in, and we don't even need a security. It's just the owner breaking into his own studio, and then me, the other owner, getting calls from the security place.
He freaks out.
And then I'm like, who's even paying for this?
Here's something that's weird.
Who's monitoring this?
Here's something that's crazy. Did you know, fun fact, and then we'll get to our guest. Did you know that every time you have called me after we've had a security breach at the studio, I've been pooping? Every time. 5 times. 4 times? 4 times. 4 times. And then, because apparently my anxiety gets high and I freak out. And then I got to run to the bathroom and take a J-Rob. What is in that J-Rob protein powder?
It was the magnesium.
I thought magnesium was good for you. It's supposed to stop you from shaking, right?
But it also cleans you right out.
All my friends, though, all my friends, they get like, they're like, oh, I'm not an alcoholic, but then they'll stop drinking. They'll start shaking like crazy. They're like, you need magnesium. I'm like, no, I think you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, you need alcohol. That'll stop you from shaking.
Okay. Hey, everybody on the couch with us to talk film. I was going to say music, but let's say film, music, and movies.
I think we just switch it to music.
Yeah.
Switch it on me.
It's our good friend from the Cinema Crespidiso podcast. It is our good friend, Chris Crespo.
Hey, what up, guys?
How you doing, Chris?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Sounds like a rough morning.
Yeah, we had a couple things happen here and there.
Yeah.
But,
typical. It was spicy.
Typical TND,
running it loose.
Our security monitoring system is calling us, and we don't even know who pays it.
Yeah, we don't know
or who they are.
There's no password.
We don't know the password.
There's no way in. There's no way out.
Daniel begs them.
But it didn't shut off though.
Okay, we'll talk about the medium show.
I was begging some big black mama on the phone. I'm begging her, please don't call the cops. This is like the 3rd time. You always send the cops. Please stop.
And then she's like, I'm sending sending the cops.
She's like, I'm sending the cops, baby.
That's what the robber would say.
I'm not
Please
losing
don't
my
send the
job
cops.
for you, little ass. I'm not using my job.
And
for
by the
you.
way, no one believes that this company has been monitoring our security
What
for
are they
8 years,
monitoring?
and we have not paid anybody.
Nothing.
We don't even know who
Nothing.
set it up.
I don't even know. I don't know.
We
nothing.
can't remember.
Wow.
Anyway,
I just know that you always kick the cameras. He kicks the cameras when he's here late masturbating. He'll kick the plugs on, and then I'll get an alert. I'm like, oh, I see what he's doing. His calves went stiff because he was watching some new videos.
Come on. Oh, you can't say that. All right. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing all right, hanging in there.
So let's talk about the Florida Film Festival.
Yes, absolutely. Just started this past weekend. It's their 33rd annual film festival. That's pretty wild.
You know, I had a movie in the Florida Film Festival, Smoking Ninja.
No, yeah, we
Premiered at the Florida Film Festival probably 20 years ago or so.
We also
Yes, on your documentary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
documentary.
Yeah, well, that's not. I'm talking about me. Sorry, I got good sleep.
You know what's funny? I forgot that we put our documentary in the Florida Film Festival.
Well, it was kind of loose because it's like anything I've ever done with the Florida Film Festival, they'll allow like my movie or like our documentary into it, but they're always like, you know, that's not like 100% like real, right?
Wow.
They always give you the
We're
like,
letting you in so you talk about it and promote us.
Yeah.
But in any other circumstance,
exactly.
this wouldn't be in
it's
there.
a dinner for schmucks scenario. It's like they're like, oh yeah, we know you have a lot of people listening to you, but you're not an artist like everybody else that does this. That is what it feels like.
All
and
the
it
other
makes me
movies
sad.
are actual art. This is some nonsense.
Yeah, this is
we
this is
understand.
basically one notch better than having a beer with Mike.
Hey, I loved having a beer with Mike.
Is this the alarm company? Why are you in charge of the Florida Film Festival?
Do you know who liked having a beer with Mike more than you?
Who?
Mike.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's still
did.
living it every day.
Is
Same
he still
hat.
doing it?
Oh, he's got the no. He'll smoke a cigar at his favorite beachside bar and then throw up a loose, grainy video from YouTube of Dick Simmons, one of his characters, who was a little person running wild in a Walmart.
Oh, my goodness.
Fantastic.
And then isn't he lean one way politically then works that
He's
in?
a true blood patriot like me, just like me and Crespo here.
Yeah.
So the Florida Film Festival, how long does it go on for?
It's over a week. It started technically last Friday.
Okay.
Really in full on Saturday, and then it'll run through next Sunday. So it's like a 10-day festival with multiple movies playing at 2 screens at the Regal at Winter Park, and then at the Enzian all week long. So they have 3 screens rolling at the same time.
And so people could just show up to watch any of these films.
You can. They have tables set up outside to buy passes. You can buy a single ticket, like your regular movie, or you can buy a pass that like gets you into multiple movies. They have different levels of passes that have different like benefits and stuff like that. I get in with a press pass, so thank you for letting me talk about it on the radio, so I can earn that press pass again for another year.
All right.
They never check.
Hey, anytime you want that, I tell all of my
do.
friends, if you want to say, and this goes for listeners too, if you want to lie to the real media, I use an air quote. If you want to lie to real media and then use TND Media,
Not my media.
And if you want to get a press pass for anything, just email me and I'll let you do it.
That's true.
I don't care.
That's true. I mean, I got a press pass for Big Tim Murphy once for the cake convention.
Yeah.
And I just said, oh, yeah, PFT Media. I was like, yeah, sure. How many passes do you need? They were just giving those things away.
You just got
kidding
a
me?
note. Are you getting divorced? Like, your wife just walked in and served you papers. I've seen the other guy that did that. That does not go. That does not end well. Your wife comes in and serves you papers. What is happening? Hold on. Let me turn on the other microphone here. Hold on. I gotta find. Okay, there we go.
Big announcement.
Okay.
No, I just.
Oh no! It's like shooting right onto your legs. Okay, there we go. All right.
Let me suck my stomach.
No, you look great.
I'm not prepared for the camera here. What show is this?
This is
ACT.
I handed him the note because the other day I bought tickets to a movie called Tuesday that I thought it was Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what it was. I just know that I like her, and I thought, well, let me just go see it or whatever. So then we're in the car driving, and I played the trailer for it, and it is.
Then you should see the trailer.
It is really weird.
Because this is what happens.
But you've told me, and I don't want to get you in trouble. But you've told me, and you pontificated about how your wife always drags you to crazy movies that are like weirdo. Like you'll sit there for like 2 hours and not know anything that's happening.
It's like a Melancholia or nothing.
I love Melancholia.
Melancholia.
It is literally one of my favorite movies.
What was the other one? The one.
real. It's real.
The universe one. With,
Oh yeah, Brad Pitt.
Brad
The
Pitt.
Tree of Life.
Tree of Life.
Tree of Life. Yeah, yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Everybody laughed at the end of that one, to be honest.
What was the other one you watched?
The Whale. I was. We were in
Oh,
the
The
Incheon
Whale.
watching The Whale. I'm eating a Cuban sandwich.
There's nothing more whale than that. That's the whalest thing you
You should eat during the whale. Oh
I
my
know. Why? I don't know.
goodness.
Well, he was eating.
You ate a Cuban sandwich during the whale. You didn't tell me that. You lied to me. That's the funniest thing you've ever done. I support that. I would have gone with you and eat a Cuban sandwich during the whale.
Didn't bother me at all.
Wow. Powered right through it.
I hate it. Mad at the whale. Mad at
And mad at all the real whales around you.
So anyway, so Crystal did show me.
Oh my God.
And this is what happens. We're driving, and Crystal's like, this happened with like even.
I bought more tickets for our weirdo movie, and I'm going to force you to watch.
I was like, I bought tickets to this movie. Do you want to go with me, or maybe I could take my mom? And so I'm like, here's the trailer. I pulled it up, and then we're both kind of watching it together. And there's Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's got an ill child.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden,
it's
parrot.
always sad, super sad. Like, all right.
So,
So this
she has an ill child.
Yeah, she's like she's terminally ill. It looks like.
Oh,
I don't know the
that
whole
sounds
details,
fun.
but
Sounds
Yeah,
like
right.
Barbie Part 2.
Another Cuban woman.
You have to look at and pick the pickles off. And pick the pickles off where they're talking about the sick kid.
so then all of a sudden this macaw, like a huge red macaw, shows up, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll take. Immediately, I think I'll take my mom because she
It's
has
a
birds.
weirdo bird movie.
Well, the bird starts talking, and he's like this, and it's weird. It's like
Play the trailer. Play the trailer. It's hilarious.
It's
The
like-
bird starts devil talking.
what's the thing in Atreyu and Artax? What's the
Never Ending
sadness?
Story?
The nothing.
Oh, the nothing, yeah.
I felt like this bird was the nothing,
Oh,
or it
wow.
was like.
All right, here's the trailer.
Okay, watch this.
I'm sure it's very good.
By the way,
Okay, here.
Crystal's like, we're gonna go see this.
Do you understand how tender?
Hold on, no, that's okay. Oh, no, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
Exactly how Tinder works.
Then
I
you
do.
don't understand how flirting works.
Okay, Louis, she's eating breakfast, talking
How
to
do you think you got here?
her friend. Is that or her kid?
That's her daughter.
That's her
who's-
daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's an A24 film. No wonder.
She's
Was
bathing.
that her?
They make weird movies.
Oh, she has a disabled child.
Everywhere.
Okay, now there's a
Here's
bird
the
flying.
bird, yeah.
Here he comes.
Giant bird.
Yeah,
Watch
giant
it.
bird.
Listen to him.
You're like, oh, it's gonna be.
Oh, it shrunk.
It got really small. You think the
Okay,
bird is
hold on
going
a
to
second.
provide?
Hold on.
on a
Wait.
second.
You
So
gotta hear this bird.
I gotta describe what happens. So the bird flies in, and the bird lands next to the terminally ill teenager character.
Oh.
And lands there, and then it looks to its left,
Yep.
it looks to its right, and you can tell that this is a rough ass bird. This bird's seen some things.
bird looks
Yeah,
rough.
his feathers are
Yeah.
not all bright red.
It looks
anymore.
like he came from like South America and he just got out. Like they're shooting at him, and he lands there, and then he shrieks himself into a tiny bird, and then the terminal teenager grabs the bird and hides it in her hands.
Yeah. Now
That's
he-
what just happened.
Now he's gonna speak.
Okay, here he goes.
Now it's big again.
Here we go.
Unique. You made my head silent.
Who are you talking to? Can you please just come out so she can see you?
Madam, you need to say goodbye to your daughter.
All right.
Whoa. Whoa.
You must say.
That looks intense.
I am an all-knowing parent. You must say goodbye to your daughter.
Oh, boy.
Now envision.
Is he gonna kill the daughter?
Envision me holding half a Cuban.
A middle-aged confused
I'm like,
podcaster.
can't
You
we-
must say goodbye to your Cuban.
Can't we just watch Transformers 5? Like something.
How about a comedy? What happened to like Hangover? Like a little Hangover action.
So
That's
these
funny.
are the kind of movies at the Florida Film
Those are,
Festival.
yeah, the kind of movies you'll see weird movies. And that's an A24 film, which I just saw. It's not at the film festival, but I just saw Civil War. Have you guys seen the marketing for that one at all?
yeah.
That's an A24. That was a wild movie.
All I see is everybody going, "What kind of American are you?" And I'm like, that's the catchphrase,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
Are we gonna have people doing Halloween, like where they're dressed up, but just like they normally dress, asking their friends what kind of Americans they
Maybe,
are.
yeah, what fake blood on their hands or something.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Civil War for a second, because Civil War released basically the premise of Civil War is America goes into a civil war.
That's what we're doing now, but just the fighting part.
And then everybody basically the entire country splits off into different factions.
There's like 3 factions. There's like the United States, which is Northeast and D.C. There's the Florida Alliance, which is Florida and a bunch of southern states. They don't specify.
Are we are we conservative badasses with alligators?
They do not get into the specifics of the Florida Alliance.
But the Florida Alliance sounds pretty cool.
It sounds cool, but the only thing they talk about is how South Carolina refused to join that one. That's the only mention. The movie is not exactly what's been marketed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, not exactly.
So because also Texas and California are also
they're their own alliance. It's the Western Forces, they call them.
And then people get mad because they're like, what? Texas would never go.
I went into the movie thinking the same thing. It makes no sense that those two would join up.
But here's the brilliant part about why probably the director did this is to take the politics out of it.
Yeah. I think so.
And I think
keep it a little more sci-fi.
I think so.
But
good call.
But it also hurt, like, I guess the people expected it to be more reality.
Man, I
based
wanted
on,
to see him get him.
Like based on right and left.
Like a bunch of Republicans and Democrats and liberals and conservatives. And it's not. It's really not that.
Yeah. So they split it all up where it kind of doesn't make like Texas and California
honestly,
are.
It could be
they're just the Western. I'm sorry. What was that?
Oh, I was going to say it just could be anything. I mean, if you're just looking for a premise for people to like alienate other people and hate them, you could just say like these people like Slurpees and these people don't. It could be anything.
And you can find anything. Yeah. The only political thing they get into the movie is that the president who's in power hasn't granted interviews in like over a year. He's not being seen in public. He disbanded the FBI. They shoot journalists on site in the Capitol at the White House.
Yeah, he got an extra term. Like
he got a third term.
Which is why everybody started rebelling. Like, wait a minute, this is not our
So he's coded as like authoritarian, fascist, and that does lean one way politically between the two. But it doesn't. In the movie, it doesn't matter at all.
Right.
The movie is just about it's the very end of the war. And the heroes of the film are journalists, war journalists, and they want to go interview and photograph the president, be the first and ostensibly the last people to get a chance to do this before the war ends. So then it's like a road movie for them, traveling 800 miles trying to get to Washington, D.C., but having to deal with all the fallout of the Civil War and, running into different people along the way. And it's very much just, a political commentary, kind of a satire at times about the situation, but you really can't draw a 100% direct parallel between our political climate now and what's represented in the movie. It is like kind of a shifted, almost alternate America that's believable in its way, but we're so far from in real life now that it can't really just sit there and be like, oh, this is where we're going, because it would play out differently for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a good movie though, very, very good movie. Harrowing film. It's an anti-war movie. Hard to make a war movie that says war is bad when at the same time you make the war look cool. Movies like 1917, Apocalypse Now, even Platoon. Right. There's moments where war looks cool.
What a weird balance to try and make the action sequences super exciting, but yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, I'm saying war is bad. Like, how come this movie's full of heroes doing awesome things? So it's definitely like an anti-war movie, and it's also sneakily a pro-journalism movie, which obviously journalists have come under a lot of attack over recent years with, everything going on in the world.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. It was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed that.
I'm glad you liked it. I actually was only going to wait till I heard it from you because of everything that I had a feeling that you would come in and say that parts of it have been misrepresented. Or
sure. I mean, they're marketing in a way to get people to come out, and it's working because, like I said, it's an A24 film. They make smaller indie films. I think their highest grossing film might have been Everything Everywhere All at Once, which just made a little over $60 million. And this one,
that's only 28 Days Later, right? Is that part, or is that the director?
No, that's 28 Days. That's the writer of 28 Days Later is the writer and director of this movie. Okay. Yeah, Alex Garland, who's a very, very good English filmmaker. He also made that Dread movie from like 10 years ago. Obviously not the Sylvester Stallone one, but the one from like the Carl Urban. I always mix that up.
It'd be a different movie with Keith Urban.
It'll be slightly different. Maybe Nicole Kidman would get a cameo then.
I'm gonna play my guitar.
Yeah, the Judge Dredd is that Dredd movie is awesome. He has a good show with Nick Offerman called Devs. That's on Hulu. That's a really cool sci-fi show, which is makes sense that he got Nick Offerman to play the president for the Civil War movie.
Offerman has Gandolfini'd me. I can't. I can't.
You can't? What do you mean?
I,
what do you
Offerman
mean?
is Gandolfini. I can't.
Separate his character.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
you're Ron
Oh,
Swanson
yeah,
forever,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
can play
yeah.
nothing else. I'm sorry. Those
that-
shows were so powerful, and I think
Yeah.
it was my age.
Sure.
It had something to do with when
It's like
they hit me.
when Jim from The Office
Yes.
tried to be a Navy SEAL.
Can't
I'm
do
like,
it.
can't do it,
No,
Jim.
no. He grew a beard? No, won't buy it.
I was
Yeah,
like, your
that's fair.
haircut. You have that floppy broccoli haircut. Cut your hair.
He has the hair of a child.
My God.
Hoffman also has that iconic voice. That's such a Ron Swanson voice. And then when the president in this movie starts talking, it's like, oh, President Swanson. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I can't do it without him. Like, I'll break. I'll even start laughing when he's being serious. But he's a wonderful actor.
He is very
Now,
good.
you know where I didn't do it? Is when he played the gay guy
This
in...
is The Last of Us.
Yeah. Have you... That was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 3 of The Last of Us. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a hell of an actor, but I always see Ron Swanson. Always.
Sure.
Always.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Ron Swanson has a gay love life. Isn't that sweet? Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I
becomes
like
a weird
gay
extra
Ron.
thing. Gay Ron.
Because he's also does all the stuff real Ron does.
Yeah.
He knows all things.
Yeah.
He's also gay. And it's like, all right.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
more manly than Ron. He takes that next step.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
You're the ultimate man.
We've said this for years.
Takes another man.
Exactly.
or gives
Yeah.
it to him, whatever.
The most manly thing
man
you
on
can-
man.
The most manly thing another man can do is $69.99. I've said that. I've said I'll die on that hill.
Yeah.
I'll die on the hill. I'll die trying to 69. I'll die.
So, you saw a documentary
I
as
did.
well, right?
I saw one last night at the film fest, and it's playing again, I think, on Thursday or Friday if anyone hears this and they're interested. It's called Secret Mall Apartment. And it's
So this is what I've always wanted.
oh man, this is incredible. And it's only like the third time this movie has screened. It just debuted a few weeks ago, I think, at South by Southwest. So it's pretty cool that the Florida Film Fest, got this one
Cool
early
that
in
you
its
got
run.
to see it, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's very cool. So it's about 1999 in Providence, Rhode Island. The local economy has gone to crap, so they decided to build a gigantic mall, like a Mall of America style, huge mall in Providence, Rhode Island, to redevelop the economy of the area. And there's some gentrification, and they knocked down some old buildings where a bunch of artists were living and commuting. So all those artists were mad and bitter at the mall. And one of them figured out that when they were constructing the mall, that they thought, looking at the construction of the buildings, like the girders, they're like, there's a part of this mall that looks like it's an empty space. There's what could possibly be in this empty space? So after the mall was made, they went exploring. They went through the back rooms and some like crevices, and they found, if you went up these stairs, an empty, unused, like 700 square foot space in the back rooms of the mall, like on the third floor. And over the course of the next 4 years, from 2003 to 2007, they moved in furniture, sofas, PlayStation, and like 8 different artists were using it as a place to hang out, to crash, to work on all their future art projects.
And no one knew.
No one knew for four full years. They were
This is a
practically
dream of mine.
living in this
I've
this mall.
always wanted to
How
live
did
in
they get
somebody
it?
else's house and never be detected.
Yeah, they were frogging. They were frogging in this mall. It was
Dude,
awesome.
I am
How-
obsessed with that feeling of I'm living in your home, you don't know I'm there, and
Yeah.
at night I creep out and I steal your food and then I go back and live.
Yeah, I'm in your walls.
Yeah, oh, I'd love to do that.
Would they leave during the day or they stay there at night?
Sometimes they would stay there. They weren't living there permanently. Like one guy said, the most nights he stayed there in a row were 4 or 5. During the winter, it was really cold, so they have to have sleeping bags. During the summer, it got really hot. They had no air conditioning there. It's like a little concrete space in a back room. It's like you have to go behind into the parking garages and down this hallway, then up these stairs, and they found this really steep ladder that almost went to nowhere. When they climb up there, it was just this weird 700-foot ledge. They built a wall with they snuck in cinder blocks and built a wall with a door with the lock so they could have their own locking door. It's an incredible incredible documentary, and they filmed everything. They had a little really crappy digital camera from 2003, and this, because he's an artist, he knew that this would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
filmed a lot of stuff, so we have really grainy, crappy, but interesting footage of them actually doing all this stuff.
That's pretty cool.
It was very cool.
And, you know, like, I wonder, and I'm sure it goes through, I don't want to spoil anything, but if you're there in, like, the mall after hours and you're hiding there, after they close, you're breaking and entering, right?
Yeah.
You're saying, like, if you hide in a
I don't
store
know.
and then
Why
until
would
they
I know that?
Well, I'm saying that would
Well, like,
probably be the law, right?
yeah,
I think I would plead ignorance and say no. I mean, like, I just got confused and,
You guys
and you logged me in here for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, because essentially you're in a place you
I've
shouldn't
wanted
be.
this,
Yeah.
dude, forever. Like, even when I was telling the story about the church that my mom played organ in, and they were like repurposing it for apartments. It's gonna be really, really nice.
Yeah.
Like there were places in that church because it was humongous that like no one would go to, and those were like my secret little like I don't know. That's a man. I want a secret.
Yeah, a little secret
place.
space. Yeah, it was very exciting movie to watch them find it, to build it out, sneak it. When they went to, like, we're going to find a sofa for this place. I'm like, how are they even going to get the sofa up there? And then they show them, they set a camera down, they show them very dangerously lugging huge pieces of furniture up these vertical steel stairs. I mean, it's practically a ladder. It's a fascinating, well-made, super cool
It's cool that they did that, though. And, that's crazy. Is there a concrete ending to it?
Oh, for sure. That has an ending. It catches up with the people. Because, I mean, like, again, this is from 2003 to 2007, 2008. So it catches up with everyone now and interviews them. So also you got to see these people when they're like in their early 20s and then being interviewed. Now they're all in their 40s and stuff, and it's like, oh, the ravages of time get us all.
So I had a theory, speaking of this, where like now you see these amazing documentaries being made, and it's because a lot of times someone took the initiative to document everything they were doing. Like you see it with like cult documentaries and stuff. Like usually it's the cult themselves like hires one of the people to document everything, and then
provide their own evidence,
and then all of a sudden they have all this footage from 8 years,
stuff they don't even want,
and then
really intimate weirdo stuff,
and then some filmmaker gets a hold of it some way, and then they're able to take all this footage and put together a really good documentary. You've seen it, like even Steve-O had like meticulously documented all his whole time of his whole career, and then he can go back and now have all this extra footage. That's why he uses a lot of social media.
I mean, in a weird way. I mean, not as much as you should, but you have a decent amount.
So, but it was more rare, 20 years ago for, you're carrying around an actual camera and stuff.
Yeah.
Like now, I'm thinking like in like 10 years from now, are there going to be a lot of really good documentaries because everybody has a cell phone camera in their pocket?
It still takes, like you said, a person's wherewithal to be like, I want to film all this. I want to save all this data as well.
So
for
it's a mentality,
saving the data for like 10 years is also a big thing. And then it's one thing if I have video cameras and I just have tapes. I can throw those tapes in a box and I'm good. But if I'm saving data, where am I saving that data? In the cloud?
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it matters so much. I'll tell you what. I think that our
and then
our relationship,
you delete it or whatever.
Yeah, our relationship is different. With the videos on my phone, they are meaningless to me.
Yeah,
like really. Like I have so many just little blips and blurps, and I don't treat them like they're
do
precious.
Anything with them.
I mean, if they are, I'll take them and put them in like a Dropbox or something.
And with a camera, it seems like you are more willy-nilly with what you're filming because it's going on a tape and then you're storing the tape.
Yeah.
With your phone and stuff, like I feel like a lot of times people go back and erase stuff to get rid of data.
It's from my memory. Come on. My phone's barely working these days. I got delete. Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're paying for a cloud or something. So you're right. Maybe it's less documentaries that will, or maybe. It's just the person's mentality. If they're like, it seems like it takes a particular type of personality to document and be obsessed with documenting what's going on.
Yeah,
like the president, like Lyndon B. Johnson. He would record every phone call.
Yeah.
Now we have some of that. I don't know if we have all of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like he did record almost. I mean, we got the wonderful Hagar Slacks phone calls where he's talking about it cuts him in his bunghole. Yeah, but other than that, I'm not sure if it, if we had tons of it.
Yeah. Guy Torrey, remember we were talking to him? Like he kept all his tape. That's why he does the Fat Tuesday documentary. He had so much footage. And he said he has storage units full of old footage and stuff.
I wonder if that also takes a certain bit of ego too to be like, well, I'm doing something that's worthy of documenting and keeping, and maybe I can do something with this in the future, like a Val Kilmer level of ego, where he's like, oh well, I'm Val Kilmer. Even when he was like 20, he's filming a ton of stuff, and then they have that Val documentary a few years ago that's like all stuff that he shot, and he kept everything. That's crazy. He's like, yeah, people want to see my time behind the scenes on Top Secret or something. Right? Yeah, I think it is a little strange.
Like it's a weird relationship to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm envious of people that have enough confidence in themselves to think
for sure
that they're like, oh no, I'm saving this for you because you like me,
and you're gonna want to see this. You're gonna want to see.
My God,
me prepping for Top Gun.
I can't be that guy.
No, or it could just be I started this and I'm gonna continue to do it a day. Like Daniel's like this, where if he like puts together a string of like,
I like strings,
using his Peloton or putting up videos.
Oh, fair, yeah.
Or
sure.
I'm like, you used to do it even the beginning of like Justin TV. TV and stuff.
Or
where
just
you,
blogging.
Yeah,
you know, I was
blogging,
like, I do it every single day.
So if you have that personality and you're filming yourself every day and you just keep doing that and saving it just because you did it the day before, then all of a sudden it could be a great documentary one day because you just have this unbelievable amount of footage of someone or whatever.
But then at that point, you're going to want to bring in someone else to go through the footage because now you're sitting too close to it. It's like, well, this is all great. I'll make a 20-hour film. People want to see this. You know, we got to cut this down to 90 minutes. I saw this one. Speaking of Florida Film Festival, one of the first fests I covered, like over 10 years ago, there's a movie called A Matter of Taste, and it's a cooking documentary, and it's about this one guy. I think his name is Paul LeBrant, and I saw it in 2011, 2012. The movie starts in 1999 because the documentary filmmaker hooked up with this cook and just started filming him and then filmed him for 10 years before doing anything with the footage, before feeling like she had a beginning, middle, and end that she could put together. And then it makes for a super satisfying movie because he covers this huge span of this guy's professional life, his personal life, and it's him working in New York City and trying to get Michelin stars and kind of flaming out of the business and getting back in at the end. It's a very, very well-made movie. And by the end, it's almost shocking to see what, like 10, 12 years of footage in this 90 minutes of film. Like just the ability to film all this stuff and to keep it and to organize it and then to put it together later is truly incredible. That's a real skill in itself right there.
Wasn't there another movie where it showed like a person's life over a span of an insane...
Boyhood?
May have been
Yeah, that's a Richard Linklater movie where it's a narrative film, but he filmed with the same actors over the course of like 15, 20 years, like once every 5 or 6 years. So that then the movie time jumps and it's the same actors, but they get much older. So yeah, he started making a movie in like 2003 and put it out in 2018, something like that.
You think you're better than me because you can film the same kid?
I know, right?
Every year you go and you do that. You think you're better than me because you do that?
Just because you can
go
maintain...
and you check in with a kid? That's what I think of. That's the way I react as a viewer. I'm like, look at you in interviewing that kid every year. Like
maintaining relationships. Good for
like
you.
you think you're better than all of us. Get out of here.
But it's also like 20 years of this project. And
I'm not even interested in it anymore. But what if the kid dies like the second year?
That's a risk.
All the way.
Yeah,
that's a risk. Yeah.
But then once you release it, you're
Stupid
like,
kid.
man, I've been doing this for 20 years and now it's over.
And now it's over.
And
it made $6.5 million at the box office. Like barely people will remember it. You know.
Yeah.
There's another series called.
And then some dumb podcasters making fun of it on his show that doesn't even matter.
Yeah, someone cut this out and sent it to Richard Linklater. There's another series of movies. I think they're British films called the 7 Up series, and I think they might be made for BBC and then just released theatrically later. BBC. But there's these movies where they interview these kids, and they're all like 7 years old, and they interview like maybe, I don't know, 10 kids, and they talk about them, what they want to do, and then they caught up with them 7 years later when they were 14, caught up again later when they're 21, and they keep making a documentary every 7 years, catch up with these people. They're up to like... They're all like 64 now. They're all like in their 50s and 60s, and they're still making the 7 Up series. It's a fascinating series to watch from beginning to end. It started in the 70s, and they're still making them, and it's the same people, and it's a real like testament to life and like how fast it can go and how much it can change for everyone. It's one of those things where depending on your mindset, it could be life affirming or it could be devastating. You know, depending.
Most
on
things
how
are
you're feeling.
devastating for me. I mean, at least I digest them initially.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
In a devastating way.
And then work through it later with the therapist.
Yeah, I have to work through everything later.
So is there any mainstream movies that are coming out that you're excited about?
Sure. Yeah, there's the summer movie season starts up here in May. Pretty much, right? So The Fall Guy is the first weekend of May. That's the Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt romantic action comedy that got really good reviews.
I find her beautiful,
Fair.
but she's
That's
so
fair.
cold looking. Like to me, like she's like very cold.
Did you ever see The Devil Wears Prada?
I did.
That's her. Beautiful but cold. That's like the
Yeah.
perfect role for her, which was I think her first movie actually.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Yo, she is like
Yeah, for
super
sure.
good, but like
I
get
like
the-
that. I like gold.
It feels like if I went to her house or something, she'd be like I'd be walking around, I'd be like picking up like little knick-knacks and novelties.
She'd just be looking
like,
at you.
Yeah, and she'd be like, "Put that down."
You want some tea? Sit
Yeah,
down.
I
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
yell at me.
Yeah.
I like when they yell at me.
I like when you're beautiful
That's
and
the
they
thing.
yell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't have
the
many
thing.
kinks, but
Yeah.
you know, like
You're
that.
like a blunt.
Yeah.
Give me
They're
some
like
blunt.
cold, and if they're a police officer, that's
Ratchets it up right there.
Oh my god.
And then there's some pallets around.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, one tall, one short. I've seen those videos.
Yeah. leave the belt on. Yeah, I like that. Anyway.
So there's that one. That's May, and it's actually a loose remake of a TV show.
Yeah, The Fall Guy with Lee Majors.
Yes, Lee Majors.
My dad and I's favorite show. It had Heather Thomas in it. You want to see a smoke show? Look up Heather Thomas.
Smoke.show.
Do you guys remember Heather Thomas?
What was the premise of this?
The premise of the show is that this guy's a stuntman during the day, but at night he's a bounty hunter, and people hire him to like,
Dude,
track
look
people
at
down.
Heather Thomas on
Stuntman.
Fall Guy. Look at that. This
Okay,
one,
yeah.
this is my dad and I's favorite. That's her on Fall Guy, Heather Thomas.
All right.
Look at that.
That'll make you a man.
Oh my God.
Or a woman.
And this
depending
is
on
her
your
now, dude. This is her
proclivities.
now. I mean, she looks fan-frickin-tastic.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Her jeans are like,
Wow.
this is her now. Her jeans are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Heather Thomas was in Fall Guy with Lee Majors. My dad and I love the show. He also had a brown Bronco that he would drive around in, or a truck.
That's awesome.
And he would jump it over bridges and stuff. Like, it was a great, man, Fall Guy was awesome. We loved Fall Guy.
That's awesome.
And that's what taught me that, like, when you get older, you're going to have a young, hot, blonde assistant at the PI place, and you sexually harass her crazy. and
she likes it.
And she loves it. She's always walking around the office in a bikini, and then you get in your brown truck and you jump a bridge, and that's how you make your money. And I was like,
That's the life.
Yeah, I
That
was
sounds
like,
pretty
I'm
awesome.
going to be a Fall Guy.
That sounds awesome.
Like, that was my favorite show, man. Like, it's so funny we're even talking about this. I've been dying. I knew you were going to come in. I didn't know if you were going to talk about Fall Guy, but that show was amazing, dude. It was
awesome.
so good.
So they're just making a movie.
They're
based
making a
on this
movie,
movie.
and it's a little different. He's still a stuntman, but instead of being a bounty, he's not actually a bounty hunter, but he is being hired to find someone. The lead of the movie disappears, so he's going to look for that person.
And
But it looks
Emily
like a fun
Blunt,
movie.
Is she taking over sort of that Heather Thomas role of the attractive girl? Because
Well, she is the attractive girl. That the relationship is with the Ryan Gosling character for sure. They're
set.
flirty
Yeah,
on set.
They're on set,
but
and then
she-
she
but she's a
asked him to do
director.
like a favor for him.
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
To
but-
find the leading
to find
man.
the guy, to find the dude,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I saw
the
the
missing
trailer.
actor. Yeah. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like an enjoyable movie, and it's from the guy who co-created the John Wick series, and he directed the second Deadpool and Atomic Blonde. I really like this guy's action movies, so it looks like a really fun movie. And
Are
also
there-
like Ryan Gosling, he's great.
Are there any gigantic, aging, sick parrots?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
The
I
top
really,
Any devil.
AIDS devil parrots.
I'm gonna go see that movie. I look really interested.
What about that, Chris?
I'm going to
Made
see
you want to see it.
The bird looked interesting. Like
Really?
what is this
Really?
movie?
You-
I'll
You're gonna
be
sit
honest.
there and listen. It's hard to even understand what the devil bird says.
Why'd they give it that voice? It's like it seems
They
that
should have done Tracy Morgan. Every voice should be Tracy Morgan.
you gotta help me.
Hey, you better get ready. Your daughter gonna die. Yo, you better get ready. She is sick. You better get a 401k.
That'll make it a Netflix movie. Everyone will go see that one. So Fall Guy, that's coming. After that, 2 weeks after that, new Planet of the Apes. They made another one, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This one takes place like 100 years or so after the last one that came out, I don't know, 6-7
These
years
are
ago.
scary because these are when the apes, they walk around and the only difference, they just talk like just like us, right? And they sound super eloquent. They're like, put him in the cage and we will be back in the morning if he's still around.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, they talk like that. They talk like British
Okay.
royalty.
Yeah, they're fully evolved
Yeah.
at this point. Humans are fully de-evolved where they can't speak. They're running around like cave people, but yet still movie gorgeous. All of them. they're all beautiful people, but they're also cave people.
They scare me though. The monkeys that are like that.
I
It's
really
terrifying.
I really like these movies. I
Was it
think
the
they're really
one
well made.
named Caesar?
Caesar, that was the lead of the last 3 movies. The lead monkey, and that was Andy Serkis was playing that character. This is a new director. It looks like the same style, but it's a new director and a new a new trilogy essentially, a new story that takes place 100 years.
You know, I
later.
don't really believe it because there's no big fat slob monkeys.
There are. Yeah, there are. They're big old like not orangutans. What the big ones?
Baboons?
There's some big old.
Orangutans?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
I
there's
think
an
orangutan.
orangutan.
Are they the big fat
Yeah, there's some
orangutans?
big old fatties.
Man,
you
I don't
know.
think orangutans should count. That's not. I don't think that counts.
It's not big fat
I'm
monkey.
talking about standard. I'm talking about monkey standard.
Yeah.
Standard fat monkey.
Yeah. I want them like out of shape.
I guess monkeys don't have an obesity problem since they don't have like Twinkies and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's no such thing as them getting out of shape.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you're right. Anytime they depict cavemen or in like medieval times, like someone that's over the age of 40, I'm like, their teeth would be rotten
They
yellow.
should be. They should be dead.
Yeah, this happens in Game of Thrones. And I'm like, Stannis Baratheon's teeth would be brown, black,
not
rotten.
enough bad teeth in that.
No,
Yeah.
they had veneers in Westeros for sure.
Also, I didn't realize this until I started reading the book because I got through the first book.
Oh.
But old Tyrion was supposed to have no nose. He wasn't even supposed to have a nose.
Oh, I got cut off, I think, in one of the battles.
In one of the battles, his nose got sliced off. He just had the Michael Jackson hole.
Yeah.
They never did that.
In the show, they changed it. He just gets cut in the face.
Yeah, and they didn't
scar.
do that. And then Dinklage, they're like, he's way too attractive. Because he is.
Yeah,
he's a good-looking guy.
He's
They're like,
he's
you
a
can't have him
handsome
running
guy.
around with a Michael Jackson nose.
Yeah.
Before we go, Chris, I got a bitch about the movie The Covenant.
Okay, Guy Ritchie is The Covenant.
And
I heard this was good.
I saw this on the plane.
It did get good reviews.
Isn't this an action?
Yeah, it's an action, like, special forces type of deal. It's good, but there's one stupid part that I'm mad about. Because I can't separate. If you're showing me like a special forces action, and I understand this is based on there's no real event. It's just about interpreters and the war, and then how much the interpreters help Americans, and then
they get left behind when the Americans leave.
they get left behind, and them trying to get them out.
That's
whatever.
a thing that happens, but this movie isn't a specific version of that. Yeah.
And what's up with Jake Gyllenhaal? He must be on the T or something because he's a lot of special forces, a lot of MMA.
He looks ridiculous
Have
in
you seen his
Roadhouse.
body? It's
I know.
ridiculous, dude.
He looks like Tyler Durden. He's crazy looking.
But he seems like he's pigeonholed himself into these specific
it's
roles.
His phase right now.
Yeah.
So fast forward to the end, and this is a little bit of a spoiler. So if you were going to watch The Covenant, don't listen to this
2.5-year-old spoiler.
yeah. So essentially, after the interpreter gets him out of and saves his life.
Wait, what?
He has to go back and get the interpreter. So
and the interpreter is an orangutan.
Big fat one.
He can't do it through legal means or whatever. The bureaucracy of it's too much.
Sure.
So he decides to hire a small force. That's like paid army,
like mercenaries,
to help him, assist him to get this interpreter out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the mercenaries can't wait. So anyway, he mortgages his house, and he comes up with like $150,000 or $200,000.
I don't think that's enough.
Okay, so then
that's not a lot of money.
And
right?
then so let's say $200,000. I think it's $150,000 or whatever, because he's supposed to like depict it. He has a small mechanic shop, so it's like
he's just a guy.
He's just a guy. So mortgages his house. His wife lets him do it. It's $200,000, and he hires these mercenaries or whatever. And so the mercenaries like, you want the angel of death? And what the angel of death
is that one of the best guys?
No. This is a AC-130 plane. You know the planes that can hold tanks and stuff like that.
Yeah. They can drop out like carriers
with the biggest guns you've ever seen mounted on the side with unlimited bullets inside, and they're like 50 cal bullets, but the huge machine guns.
Is this an add-on?
And this is a real plane, by the way.
Is this an add-on where the guy's like going through what he gets to do, and they're like, you want this, you want this?
So, needless to say, of course, when I saw that, and I'm like, Angel of Death, I'm like, wait, $100,000, and you only paid and you get that and all the whole
Groupon.
crew.
It's a Groupon. Yeah.
I'm like, so then, of course, at the end, the Angel of Death comes, and then it's a huge, gigantic plane.
Yeah, just to fly is a couple mil to just get it in the air.
Just a gas.
Yeah, just a gas.
I looked up how much this plane cost $210 million. That's how much it costs.
Dude, were you looking this up during the movie? You see my problem here? This guy, Crystal's trying to watch the movie. He's getting his Wikipedia on.
He's like, that plane costs too much money.
To fuel this plane and to pay for the ammunition would be far beyond the $200,000.
Yeah.
Just for the fuel and the ammunition, not to mention the other Jeeps and all the
It
stuff.
was a special code. He used Commandeer 20 at checkout.
And I'm mad because someone said we got to work in the Angel of Death because of the.
It's too cool. It's too cool.
They'll, all the people they want to see and everybody's gonna be like, no one's gonna bother looking up how much this costs or seeming ridiculous that only $200,000.
Well, it's easy to write it in. Just write in a crazy guy that just is bloodlust and he flies it and he just wants to do it for free.
Yeah. Or write another guy says, hey, I just got an inheritance of $500 million. You want the Angel of Death?
Well,
yeah.
The mercenaries can't afford the Angel of Death. They wouldn't have access to that. Our government doesn't allow just regular people to have the Angel of Death.
Yeah.
They barely
Where
allow countries.
Where are you getting your information from?
I'm just saying, like, if there's the Angel of Death, like the mercenaries have it parked and they're like, fuel it up, put $100,000 of bullets in there. there. Anyway, ridiculous. I was mad at it. I was mad at it. And then at the end, I was like, this ruined it for me.
That's funny.
Well, don't even put it in there because the other stuff, it was like, I even looked it up and see if it was a true story at the end.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see if this is based on a true story.
Is
Of
it?
course, no.
Look how mad he is.
That interpreter would never, it was 5 days dragging him through the mountains. Like, he's leaving him there.
Oh,
The
my
guy's
goodness.
almost dead anyway.
That's
Taliban's right over there. Kill you.
really
Right there.
made
Kill
him
your
mad.
family.
It
Anyway,
really
all right.
made him mad.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
Yeah,
Cinema
my God.
Crespidiso for all your movies and your podcasts about movies. So
Yeah, patreon.com/Crespidiso for the show, chriscrespo.com for other stuff. I got like an interview on there with a documentary filmmaker from this year's Florida Film Festival.
Oh, great.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff, guys.
Nice, man.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Dude, we love having you here. Thank you so much for being here. We will take a break and come back right after this. All right.
Perfect.
Nice. Cool. We did it. Yay. That was super funny. Thanks for doing that, man.
Thank you guys so much.
Sorry again for the confusion this morning.
Don't worry about it. I did see your look of fear as I walked through the door.
Yeah, you're probably
I
like,
figured it'd be okay.
No. This it worked out good.
Yeah, it works out great.
Awesome.
Love you, buddy, and thanks again for the pastry.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate
Thank you,
it.
man.
Sir?
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Next time I'll when we schedule it, I'll
I'll
write it down.
Do you want me to email you to make it easier? Like when I have some time, I can give you a couple days.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. That is the easiest way.
Yeah.
And then that way I can do all of it at one time and then write back to him and say, "This is what we did."
We love having you in, and it's so easy to do, and we should do a once a month deal.
Yeah, I'll do my best to get the time off. I really appreciate you guys having me.
Oh man, our pleasure.
All right, guys. Well,
Have a good rest of your day, man. I exported this. That's Monday. Do we want to do one more?
Well, we don't need to do ACT, so we can eat real quick, and Dave, when do you have to leave here?
Thanks for being here, guys, and hanging out with us today. Tomorrow's going to be weird. We have Don Felder of the Eagles and Shaggy 2 Dope from ICP. I'm not kidding. So we have one legendary guitarist and one legendary rapper. Jesse, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, SJ, it's going to be a weird one tomorrow. I mean, you can't have... Yeah, he does hate them, but, sorry, you have to... If we're part of them, you're part of them. That goes for me, too. You know what I mean? Yeah, we've never talked to either of those guys. So it should be interesting. Pee-Pee Sprinkle says, I'm not kidding when I say I came home to a crackhead squatter taking a shit in my neighbor's yard. Wow. Bat SJ, glad you got your stuff. That's awesome. Do you want me to turn this off and then we'll just come back at?
Yeah, let's do it because Crystal has time, so we could eat and then just do a BDM show.
All right, guys. Looks like we're going back to the normal schedule, so I will be back. We'll put it on Facebook after lunch.